Here we are again doing a little more thinning. This stand of trees behind me is just too thick. Too many trees. See, the bird agrees. It's a little bit of a windy day. It's usually not recommended to cut trees down on windy days, but in this case, I think the wind's going to help us out. The dominant trees here are the ponderosa pine. This Doug fir here is smaller, and this one back here is smaller too. These trees are probably all close to the same age, but the pines have outgrown the fir because pine is better suited for this site. Since the fir are showing signs of decline and bugs attacking them, we're going to take them out. Then there will be more water and nutrients available for the pines that do better here. If you notice, these trees have black around the bottom of them. That's because they're charred from fire. I did a prescribed burn here years ago. That's one of the reasons why everything's so clean on the ground. Ponderosa especially is very adapted to fire. I thought I might do some more prescribed burning this year, but this spring has just been too wet to do it. There can be a lot of benefits in burning. One of the ways ponderosa pine reduces its competition is it lays down a mat of thick needles on the ground that are very flammable. Before humans, when a fire was sparked by lightning, these needles would carry the fire through the forest, killing a lot of the vegetation that's less fire resistant and leaving these fire resistant trees to have the resources to themselves. The people who we are not supposed to call Indians anymore also used to start fires, and it's believed they used to manage the forests through fire. It gave them advantages for hunting, gathering acorns, etc. But when we started putting fires out about 100 years ago, trees like Doug fir started encroaching into places where they normally wouldn't be. Doug fir can be fire resistant too, but not as much as pine, and especially when they're young. Very small Doug firs are easily killed by fire. They're also easily killed by chainsaws. So let's use a chainsaw, take out a couple of these Doug fir to restore this stand to a more natural state. If you notice on these pines, there are no branches on the lower part of them. That helps keep fire from getting up to the foliage. Whereas this fir has branches all the way to the ground. That's what they call ladder fuels, because it can take the fire from the ground all the way up into the crown of the tree. This fir is leaning toward the left, but I want it to go toward the right. It's a heavy lean. There's a break in the wind right now, but the wind's pushing toward the right direction. So hopefully it'll help us out. But before I cut this one, I'm going to put a cut into this one so we can play a little game of dominoes. We haven't had any good gusts of wind. This light breeze isn't enough to push it through those pines. The branches are all tangled up. We're going to have to pull it over. Second one didn't go quite the way I pictured it. It got hung up on a pine branch. I left a lot of hinge on that small one so it wouldn't tip back and pinch my bar. With that much hinge holding it, it wasn't able to push through those trees, but once I cut that off, it had enough weight to push through. I ended up with 7 decent saw logs that ended up in a jumbled mess, along with a bit of firewood. And the biggest, most healthy, fastest growing trees are still there to do their thing. Once I clean up the slash, these trees will pretty much be fireproof. It would take some really extreme conditions for a wildfire to do any harm to these trees.